So it looked like Bria Hartley is going into hiding. And it looked like Bria Hartley is running after news broke about Sophie Cunningham being out for the season.
Atkins, 7 to shoot. Cardoso rolls, catch. Cardoso over the top, can't get it. Reese fights for the rebound and a foul, and this time gets a little chippy and a shove on Nelson Adota. And listen, this arena, typically we'll see some ringside fights.
Bria Hartley is running. After a single camera angle caught her smirking over Sophie Cunningham's season-ending injury, she vanished from the internet. That one sinister grin turned a routine basketball play into a full-blown scandal, sparking a firestorm of accusations and a family's public demand for justice. But the smirk wasn't even the most shocking part of this story. What Hartley did just hours later online points to something far more calculated, and it all leads to a final, unbelievable twist you have to hear to believe.
This picture is going viral with Bria Hartley with the sinister grin, right? This malevolent look that's on her face right now, clearly smiling after injuring Sophie Cunningham, man.
Oh, and Cunningham is down. My goodness. Should be. In a scary moment as we went to commercial, Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard and she is being helped off the floor, heading back to the locker room.
The game screeched to a halt in an instant. Up until that point, it was a fast-paced, back-and-forth battle, the kind of contest fans live for. The next, Indiana Fever's Sophie Cunningham was crumpled on the hardwood, clutching her knee in agony. In the chaos of a transition play, Bria Hartley had barreled in at a dangerous, awkward angle, crashing directly into Cunningham's firmly planted leg. The arena fell silent, a collective gasp sucking the air out of the building as trainers rushed to her side. The immediate concern was for Sophie, but as the initial shock wore off, the cameras captured something else entirely. A replay angle, shown to the broadcast audience, revealed a moment that would change everything. It showed Hartley walking away from the scene, looking back at the injured player with a clear, unmistakable smirk on her face.
So Mike put this up about an hour ago. He said, to all of those defending Bria Hartley, look at what she liked on Instagram. Emo, she's the dirtiest player in the league and should be kicked out. Most recently, Sophie Cunningham has been hurt with the knee tear and is out for the season. Look at this. Look at this. Now, Bria is the definition of consistency. Now, this is her liking this. This is her liking this post. Y'all see that? Breezy, 1414, and others. Bria is the definition. She's liking this post. Look at this. Death taxes and Bria Hartley always being at the scene of the crime. Now, that's her choke slamming Angel Reese.
That single freeze frame became the centerpiece of the entire controversy. In the digital age, it was all that was needed to light a fuse. The clip went viral within minutes, spreading from dedicated fan forums to mainstream sports news. It was no longer about a simple, if unfortunate, basketball play. It was about intent. Fans replayed it, they paused it, they zoomed in, insisting that her expression revealed a chilling and malevolent truth. The conversation shifted from what happened to what was she thinking. The incident transformed from a sports injury into a public trial, and that single fleeting grin was presented as the prosecution's star witness.
Sophie Cunningham, let's be clear here. Sophie Cunningham was targeted. Let's be very, very clear here. But Sophie Cunningham was flat out targeted by a dirty, dirty player.
I'm so proud of you. We're proud of you too. We're proud of you. I'm so proud of you guys. I know that sometimes it sounds like just a word when we talk about being resilient, but it's not, man. It's how we live. Yep. It's how y'all live, and it's a tribute to you. It's a tribute to your connectedness, your togetherness, your toughness, your mindset. You never give up gritty attitudes. Like, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And
that now infamous smirk didn't exist in a vacuum. For many who followed the league closely, it felt less like a shock and more like a confirmation. Bria Hartley had already built a formidable reputation as one of the WNBA's most aggressive players, someone who consistently blurred the line between tough, hard-nosed defense and outright dirty tactics. As the clip circulated, fans immediately began digging into the archives, pointing to a long history of physical run-ins, questionable fouls, and heated ejections that painted a damning picture. The most notorious example, which resurfaced immediately, was a heated incident with LSU star Angel Reese, which involved a blatant and aggressive hair pull that sparked widespread debate about sportsmanship and player conduct.
Maybe you should focus her sister. Maybe you should focus less on fining players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are capable to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic. Praying for you. The only good thing positive surrounding Sophie Cunningham coming out of this game, she looked in good spirits in the locker room.
We will never be counted out because that is worth gold. That is worth gold. Kels, goddamn baby. Put us on your back. Oh, big time.
But the Reese incident was just one piece of a larger puzzle. Commentators and fans recalled other moments, hard screens, that seemed designed to injure, shoves after the whistle, and a general demeanor that seemed to relish physical confrontation. These past altercations became Exhibit A, B, and C in the court of public opinion. People felt they were seeing a clear and undeniable pattern of behavior, a tendency to play out of control and show little remorse for the consequences. So when that malevolent grin appeared on camera just seconds after Cunningham's painful, season-ending injury, it wasn't seen as an isolated incident. It was viewed as the latest chapter in a long and troubling story, cementing the narrative that this was far more than just a tragic accident.
Bria Hartley deserves zero benefit of the doubt. And Sophie Cunningham's family not too happy. I believe this is Mama C. Hartley is a disgruntled player having trouble everywhere she goes. She's plain mean and plays out of control. Looked out of control to me.
An assassin, Kelsey Mitchell, has a new career high. Backdoor Mitchell, bouncing in the paint for two. Kelsey Mitchell, the pig is snatched up. Mitchell squeezing through for two at the foul. Fouls on the other end. It's Mitchell launching it and connecting.
Just when the debate couldn't possibly get any hotter, Bria Hartley picked up a can of gasoline and poured it on the fire herself. In a move that left fans, analysts, and even her defenders completely speechless, she went on Instagram and liked a post that seemed to openly celebrate her aggressive and controversial reputation. The post was a collage of her most infamous moments, featuring images of her most questionable plays, including one of her in a chokehold-like position on Angel Reese. The caption was a cynical joke: death, taxes, and Bria Hartley always being at the scene of the crime.
Indiana Fever fans wake up pissed off today. Pissed off. Not only are we getting assaulted, but they're smiling about it. This is the 6th time they've smiled, laughed, and cheered on our Indiana Fever players getting assaulted, getting injured. And it pisses me off.
Mabry knifes off the screen. Charles is doubled.
And Indiana looks like they're in a zone right now.
Kick out and stolen by Mitchell. Explodes 2-on-1. Sims elevates for two and a foul.
Bug with their point guards. This is where you have Odyssey Sims coming in. Kelsey Mitchell making a great heads-up play here, but Odyssey Sims has done a great job early on coming in.
Her public endorsement of this message was seen as a stunning lack of self-awareness, or worse, a deliberate and cruel taunt. Screenshots of her like spread even faster than the video of the smirk. It transformed the narrative from speculation into what many considered a cold, hard confession. It was no longer just about a fleeting expression in the heat of a game. It was about an attitude, a mindset that seemed to find humor in her own infamy. Critics argued that her actions off the court proved what they suspected all along, that she enjoyed the chaos, embraced the villain role, and had absolutely no sympathy for the player she had just sent to the locker room with a torn MCL.
Making all kind of excuses to say that Bria Hartley is not a dirty player. Let me tell y'all something, man. Come on in here, man. Let me tell y'all something. If it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, eats like a duck, it's a duck, man. Come on, man. She is the dirtiest player in the WNBA right now, winning the trophy. All right? Winning the trophy for it. Don't sit here and try to tell me Bria Hartley is not a dirty player.
While faceless accounts debated online, the people closest to Sophie Cunningham were living a real-life nightmare, and they refused to stay silent. The first wave of raw, unfiltered outrage came from Sophie's sister Lindsay, who took to social media with a blistering and targeted attack on the league's officiating. She wrote, "Maybe you should focus less on fining players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are able to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic." Her words struck a nerve across the league, especially since Sophie herself had been fined earlier that same season for criticizing referees on her podcast. It highlighted a perceived hypocrisy that left players feeling unprotected.
Boston backs down Hartley. Aaliyah Boston, excellent post position. Picks up the dribble. Shot clock winding down to 7. Mabry, lob pass. Charles catches. No foul call. That's a huge no call. Looks for cutters. Charles the defense. Back on to Boston. Tina Charles. Backdoor Mitchell. Pouncing in the paint for 2. 30 points for Mitchell. That's the 4th on Charles.
Can't get caught ball watching right there. Great recognition by Boston as Mitchell makes that backdoor cut.
Soon after, their mother, Paula Cunningham, added her voice to the chorus with an even more direct and personal condemnation. In a post that was screenshotted before being deleted, she called Hartley a disgruntled player who is playing mean and plays out of control. The fact that this came from Sophie's mother, someone with a personal stake in her daughter's well-being, gave the criticism a weight that no fan comment ever could. This wasn't just anonymous online anger anymore. This was a family watching their loved one's season get ripped away, and they were pointing the finger not just at one player, but at an entire system they believed had failed to do its most basic job: protect its athletes.
Shot clock down to 6 for the Fever. Turner, up fade. Turner kicks it. Hole three-pointer. Bottom!
Indiana's just...
But while the internet was consumed by the firestorm of controversy, a different kind of fire was being lit inside the Indiana Fever locker room. On the court, the team was now in an impossible, almost hopeless position. They were already playing without their generational superstar rookie, Caitlin Clark. Now they had just lost Sophie Cunningham, one of their emotional leaders and toughest players. Trailing by a staggering 21 points at halftime, everyone watching expected them to fold. The game was considered over. Broadcasters spoke of damage control and survival, not victory. But what happened next was nothing short of miraculous.
Bria Hartley has privated all her social media accounts. Now, this is coming off news breaking about Sophie Cunningham being out for the season. Now, we know there has been people kind of investigating this whole situation with Bria Hartley. And y'all know what I like to say is looking real spooky for Bria Hartley right now.
Led by the absolutely heroic efforts of veteran guard Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever mounted one of the most unbelievable comebacks in WNBA history. Mitchell was an unstoppable force of nature, exploding for a career-high 38 points, an incredible 34 of which came in the second half alone. She put the entire team on her back, chipping away at the massive deficit shot by determined shot. She was supported by Aaliyah Boston's dominance in the paint and Odyssey Sims' steady, veteran control of the offense. With every basket, the energy in the arena shifted from despair to hope and then to pure belief. The 99-93 win wasn't just a win, it was a defiant statement. It was a testament to their unbreakable resilience, proving that even with their stars down, they would never, ever be counted out. They had turned a night of devastating loss into a record-breaking, franchise-defining triumph.
Well, you come at Sophie's sister, you come at Sophie. And Sophie saw this comment, and bless her heart, she answered it. She answered it. Some of us were raised by the words of, quote, don't bite off more than you can chew. And some of us didn't. Quote, F around and find out. F around and find out. Kiss. God bless this woman. Yeah, seriously. She's great.
As the Indiana Fever celebrated their impossible, emotionally charged win, Bria Hartley was doing the exact opposite. She was disappearing. Faced with an overwhelming and relentless avalanche of criticism over the smirk, her history of dirty plays, and her shocking Instagram activity, Hartley retreated from the public eye completely. Her social media accounts, once open for the world to see, were suddenly switched to private or deleted altogether. This digital vanishing act only fueled the rampant speculation swirling around her.
But that's hilarious. That this hater out there, and there's a lot of them right now. I said yesterday they're mad because Sophie's being called a superstar and this and that and the other. Yeah, Sophie's got more pull than your Asia Wilson. I mean, Asia's on this monumental run. I literally wouldn't have known that if I hadn't stumbled across somebody that said, well, the WNBA is making Asia Wilson's late season MVP push. Sometimes, I mean, you just got to pay attention. The WNBA wants to protect certain people and certain players.
But to many, it was a clear and undeniable admission of guilt. Why else would an innocent person hide? Rumors began to circulate that the league was launching a private investigation behind the scenes, and that a lengthy and severe suspension was imminent. Her silence was deafening, leaving a vacuum that was quickly filled with assumptions and accusations. Was she simply trying to escape the relentless and vitriolic online hate, or was she being advised by her agent and team to lay low before the league handed down a serious punishment? Her sudden absence from the digital world created a mystery that was almost as compelling and debated as the initial incident itself.
I know Bria, and I'm actually really good friends with Bria, and I have been waiting to get on the pod and so we could talk about this because I did want to tweet it out, but I don't think that there was no ill intent. I think it was basketball play. I was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. She fell. Like, there's no way that she would go in there and potentially try to hurt me. And so I have nothing but love for Bria. And I even told my mom, because she tweeted something. I was like, no, Mom, I get it. But I promise you that I was like, Bria and I are super cool. And she would never try to hurt me, because there are some girls that I think might, but she wouldn't do that. And so I have nothing but love. And so I hope people stop giving Bria some heat, because I don't think she meant to do that at all.
But the biggest, most shocking twist in this entire saga came from the one person at the very center of it all, Sophie Cunningham. Days after the injury that ended her season, she finally broke her silence, and her response was absolutely not what anyone expected. Her first move came on social media with a simple, powerful, and defiant message: F around and find out. Fans immediately rallied behind her, seeing it as a promise of resilience and a warning to her critics that she would not be broken. It was a statement of strength, not victimhood. But then, on her podcast, she delivered the real shocker. In a moment of stunning and unexpected grace, she explicitly defended Bria Hartley. She told her audience that she and Bria were actually friends, that they were super cool, and that she truly, genuinely believed there was no ill intent behind the play. She even revealed that she had to tell her own mom to back off with the public criticism, promising her that Bria would never try to hurt her on purpose. This incredible act of forgiveness completely complicated the simple villain-victim narrative. She absolved Hartley of malice, while her FAFO post seemed aimed at the critics, the doubters, and perhaps a league that had fined her multiple times for simply speaking her mind. It was a masterclass in controlling her own story, showing a level of maturity that was just as impressive as her toughness on the court.
So where does that leave us?
A season-ending injury that sparked a digital inferno, a viral smirk that was either a sign of malice or a moment taken horribly out of context, social media evidence that seemed to prove a guilty conscience, followed by a sudden digital disappearance. We witnessed a family's righteous and protective anger, a team's unbelievable comeback against all odds, and finally a victim who in her darkest moment chose grace over blame. After hearing all the facts, was Bria Hartley's play a deliberate act of aggression from a dirty player, or just a tragic accident in a high-stakes game? And more importantly, who really won that night? The team that pulled off a miracle on the court, or the player who rose above the chaos and refused to be defined by it? Drop your thoughts below.